Hey y'all, and welcome to this week's Whiskey Wednesday. This week, I picked Out on the Dance Floor by Triston Marez, and I picked it because we're heading out to Copeland Dance Hall this weekend to see him play. Now, I wanted to pick an older song of his because I had already featured him on Whiskey Wednesday before, and this one came up, and it's definitely older because, man, look at how young he looks on that album art. Now, the song opens up with a great little fiddle riff, and you can tell the production quality isn't as high as his current stuff, but I love that. I love listening to music that artists make before actually transitioning into a big studio with a producer and things like that. Now, the first verse, he kind of sets up the whole song, and he talks about how his recent breakup isn't going to stop him from going out. He talks about how he gets ready, how he puts on his pearl snap and cowboy hat and buckle and jeans and all that. And he's not looking to find a rebound. He's not trying to get laid. He just wants to go out and dance. And I remember that feeling. Anytime you'd break up with a girl, you'd have to fight for who had the right to dance at that particular dance hall. Because let's face it, you both couldn't be there at the same time dancing with new people. It's just too tough. So it was like a race to see who got over the other one fastest and was able to go out and start dancing again. But dancing with strangers is always a little bit weird because, like he says in the chorus, he might get her name. He'll buy her a drink and he might get her name, but mostly because when you're asking strangers to dance, really the only thing you ask them is you walk up and you say, "Hey, you want to dance?" And that may be the only words you speak. It kind of depends on how good the dance goes, though. If the girl's a bad dancer, okay, maybe you actually make some small talk throughout the dance. But if the girl's actually a good dancer and she can follow, then y'all are feeling the dance and you're not really talking. You're dancing real good. You're feeling the music and you're just kind of vibing together. You know what I mean? And really, you have to wait till the end of the dance to follow up, get her name, and then make sure she's cool with you asking her out to dance again. But Triston describes it in the best way I've ever heard. If it's a good dance and you're kind of getting close, he says, our buckles might get to touching. And that just blew my mind. I love that line. And he also says he's going to spin around like she ain't ever been before. And that also strikes a chord with me because I remember, if you're recently single and you're going back out to the dance hall, you have to try your hardest to be a good dancer. You got to impress the girl that you got out there, and you have to kind of show off for all the other girls watching. It's such a primal, primitive thing where you have to put on a show to interest the females, and it's kind of weird about dancing, but that's the way it felt sometimes. Anyway, I'll stop the song here. So this weekend, he's going to play at Copeland Dance Hall. It's an older, historic dance hall. It's probably about 30 minutes from us. It's got a little motel on the second floor with only 7 rooms. True story, it used to be a whorehouse, and it's got a restaurant attached on the side. They're famous for their ribeye steak or something like that. It's definitely got a real old school honky tonk feel to it. It just goes to show you it has a unpaved parking lot. So I'm excited to take out the new lifted truck, park it in the parking lot, and get some dirt and gravel on the tires and all that stuff. But I love going to Copeland because it brings me back, and I think Triston is this type of guy who has some real knowledge about going out to the dance halls and actually two-stepping, one-stepping, actually dancing, knowing those interactions with girls around a dance floor. And too many songs just talk about dancing in such a vague way, oh yeah, boots and hardwood floors and spin around. They're very vague lines, but the way Triston talks in this song, he has that mentality of he knows what going to a dance hall frequently feels like, and he knows what it's like after you break up with somebody and what kind of mentality you're in. So it makes me think he's a guy who's been there for real, Anyways, I'm excited to see him out at Copeland, and I'll be excited to see you out there as well. I'll post some Instagram stories the day we go out so you know what I'm looking like and what to look for. And so if you see me or any of the other DTX crew, don't be afraid to stop and say, hey, I'll buy you a drink. So that's it for this week's Whiskey Wednesday. Y'all take care.